In the quiet town of Circleville, Ohio, everything changed with a single letter. It had arrived in 1976, neatly addressed, with no return address, and containing a terrifying secret. Mary Gillespie, a local school bus driver, was the first to receive it. The letter accused her of having an affair with the school superintendent. It demanded she put an end to it, or face consequences. Mary was stunned. She wasn't having an affair, at least that's what she claimed, but the letters kept coming. They weren't just sent to Mary. Soon, dozens of townspeople were receiving them. Each letter was written in bold, blocky handwriting, full of intimate secrets, marriages, affairs, hidden crimes. It seemed whoever was writing them knew everything about everyone. Panic spread through the small town. Neighbors began to eye each other with suspicion. Friends turned into enemies. Nobody knew who could be trusted. The letters were relentless. They targeted politicians, teachers, business owners. Even the sheriff wasn't safe, but the writer never asked for money, never made demands. They only wanted one thing: to destroy lives. And then it got worse. One evening in 1977, Mary's husband Ron received a call. The voice on the other end told him they knew who the letter writer was. Without hesitation, Ron grabbed his pistol, climbed into his truck, and sped off into the night. Minutes later, his truck was found crashed into a tree. Ron was dead. The sheriff ruled it an accident, but locals whispered of foul play. Ron's gun had been fired once before the crash, yet no bullet was ever found. The Circleville letters continued, taunting Mary, accusing her of murder. Whoever was behind the letters was watching. They described Mary's every move. They even threatened her children. The letters promised tragedy if she didn't confess. But confess to what? Finally, in 1983, a suspect emerged. Paul Freshour, Mary's brother-in-law, was arrested after a booby trap meant to kill Mary was found rigged to a signpost. His handwriting was compared to the letters. His experts claimed it was a match. Paul was convicted and sentenced to 10 years in prison, but the letters never stopped. Even with Paul behind bars, new letters continued to appear, postmarked from distant cities. He swore he was innocent, claiming he was framed. And in 1994, after his release, the letters finally stopped. And just like that. To this day, nobody knows who truly wrote the Circleville letters. Paul Freshour took the mystery to his grave, still maintaining his innocence. Some believe it was a family conspiracy. Others think it was a town secret, buried under layers of lies and betrayal. But one thing is certain. Whoever wrote those letters had eyes everywhere. If they were never caught, maybe they'd still do. If you want more true horror stories, unsolved mysteries, and chilling encounters from the real world, subscribe to the Gloom Zone, because sometimes the scariest monsters aren't the ones we can see.